Hello subscribers to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing another Q&A session. I realize I haven't done one in about 6 months, and I've just been so busy with other things that it's slipped my mind that I should maybe be doing some of these and to give me more feedback back to people, which is a little bit more personal than just doing the comments. Because when I do it that way, people can't really hear, my tone of voice, and they may get the wrong idea. So maybe I should start doing my responses more with videos. So, and I do want to apologize for not having done one in a while. Everything's busy on my mind, but that's really no excuse. So, let's start with Shadow0106. His question from 5 months ago. I hope you're still watching my channel, because I'm about to answer your question. Hey RPG Fanatic, have you played the 2 Digital Devil Saga games? They're spin-offs of the Mega 10 main series, and did you like those games? Yeah, I have played them. I played them when they first came out. I played them when they first came out, and I like them. They're pretty good games. They're underrated, you say? They might be. I'm not really sure. They're high in demand, I'll tell you that. And you go to a GameStop, you can still find them trying to sell them for like $30. The games came out several years ago, so and I don't think it's because they're rare. I think it's because people, want to snap them up because they're RPGs and there's collectors out there. They're big fans of the franchise, so people want to buy them. Just generally any Mega 10 game tends to be that way. I don't think there's any really cheap Mega 10 games out there. Not that you can buy for under $30 in general. So, next question. Retroman Presents asked me, how do I feel on retro consoles getting new games made? And would I ever revere Pure Solar? Yes, I would like to revere Pure Solar. That's the game that was released for the Genesis, right? That somebody made a brand new Genesis. Let me just double check on that. Going off the top of my head. Pure Solar. Yes. A homebrew role-playing game for the Sega Mega Drive, the Genesis. The game optionally utilizes the Mega CD expansion. I didn't know that. I didn't realize it also used this Mega CD expansion drive. That's pretty cool. When I first heard about it, it was just a regular cartridge. That's pretty cool. So, yes, I hope to eventually be able to review that game and talk a little about it because I really want to support the retro making of games. Like for example, I think Battle Kid is pretty cool, but it's obviously not an RPG, so it's kind of hard for me to talk about it in the show. So, Pure Solar is definitely up my alley. And that also goes for Cthulhu Saves the World and Breath of Death. I would like to review those games. What's really stopped me is that I was going to do it on Steam, but my laptop died recently, so I need to get another PC to do that with. So, Edward Elric 555 asks, do you think games like Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy series have melodramatic elements to their stories, or do you think it's the voice actors just being hammy? I think it's because there is a lot of that in the stories, but it's also because of the way that, from my understanding, as it's been explained to me, the way that video game voice acting is done. Basically, the actors very rarely actually get an opportunity to speak their roles against another actor. They go in a dark booth and they are presented with this huge Bible, basically this huge book that has all the lines for every character in the game in it. And they're organized by numbers like 1, A, B, or whatever. So, and not all of them are entirely in order. I've been told sometimes they're not even in order. They've been arranged in a specific way for the actors who are going to be coming in and reading the lines that way. So, the actors repeat the lines basically into the aether, They're speaking into a void, and their only feedback is whatever they can imagine in their heads. And that kind of is not the best way, I think, to record audio for video game characters, or any type of audio, really, for characters. I don't think it's the best way to do it. I think you should have someone else to go off of. But that's the way it's done. And I think also, I have a belief that sometimes whoever is the director in charge of the voiceover work, they just want to go right through it. They don't want to take the time to do a good job and get the actors to really say their lines the best way they possibly can. They just want to, knock it out. So that results in inferior voice acting for a project. And I don't believe it's entirely the voice actor's fault because of the way that the game voiceovers are recorded. So that probably has a lot to do with it. Mega Shadowrunner asked me, will you ever review Skies of Arcadia? Yes. When I'll get around to reviewing it, I have no idea. Let's see. I think this is Cupid. I can't pronounce this. I'm trying to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, I can't do it. KPBKLYNNY. You could possibly try and review a few free MMORPGs. Yeah, and I did that now. I hope that you enjoyed the free MMOs that I reviewed. There was your, see, people are always saying that I don't respond well to criticism, or that I don't take suggestions very well, and it's not really true. People suggest stuff to me, and I do try to do it, if I can. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the MMOs that I did. Golden Joe Blow asked me, well, I got a question. You ever play an RPG that is too long for you and you gave up on it? Too long for me and I gave up on it. It's interesting that you mentioned in your question the Dragon Quest VII for the PS1. I didn't give up on it because it was too long. I gave up on it because, for whatever reason, I could not find that last little puzzle piece. I looked all over the damn world for it, and I even turned to Game FAQs, and I thought that I had gotten them all, and I could not find wherever the hell that last little, map piece was. So I gave up on it for a time because I couldn't figure out what the hell I needed to do to go forward, because I couldn't figure out which one of these puzzles it was that I missed. And I basically needed to go through every single previous level and check for every little puzzle piece to try to find where it was, which one it was I had missed. So I ended up not finishing Dragon Quest VII because of that reason. And I guess in a way, because of the length of time it would take to go through and try to find whichever one it was that I missed, I did give up on it for that reason. I don't own the game anymore. I sold it a few years ago, but I need to rebuy it so that I can finally finish the game. Edward Eldrick 555 again asked me, have you read any Akira or Astro Boy mangas? Personally, because I personally think it's important for Western anime fans to read or watch old animes and mangas just so they can better understand why contemporary animes and mangas are the way they are. Yes, I have. Actually, I own a couple copies of Akira, the releases by Dark Horse, back when they released I want to say it was in the late 90s. It might have actually been the 2000s. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly when they released it, but I do have the Dark Horse releases of Akira, some of them at least. And I agree, people should look at some of the older stuff to understand what's being produced now. I'm not sure if Akira is quite the best example of older stuff, because Akira is fairly new, I suppose. It's 80s-ish. But Astro Boy definitely, I've read some of the older mangas. And that's, I think this video has ran pretty long already. So this is what I'm going to do. We have all new suggestions for things you want to see in the RPG Fanatic show, which you can put into the comment box down below here. You can also ask me questions. There's a couple things I want to do for the questions here particularly, though. Could you please have your questions have nothing to do with asking me to review a game? I've got a very long list now already of games that people have asked me to review, and it's going to take a long time to really go through all this stuff. These are very time-intensive games. A lot of these games I don't own anymore, or I never owned, and I've never played. So it'll take time to go through this list. So let's focus the questions on things that aren't related to asking me to review a game. If you want my opinion on something, sure. It doesn't even have to be RPG related, if it's a good question. Also, it would be cool if people could do some of their questions in the form of a video response. And you can send that video response down below here by submitting it. There's a little thing where you can submit a video response. Or you can just record it yourself and then submit it as a video response. So, let's see how this works. Thanks.